You're listening to
Wrestling to the Max.
Alert. Clear all channels.
This is an exclusive.
How you like that?
And your hosts, Gary Vaughn, Sean Garmer, and Paul Leeser.
King of Sport. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Hello and welcome to a special Wrestling Max Extra number 23, where we are talking all about New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yeah, you know when you hear it's the most wonderful time of the year? Well, for wrestling fans, this is one of them. And that is right. It is Wrestle Kingdom 10, and we are totally excited about talking about this pay-per-view. This is one of New Japan's, actually, the big point for New Japan in their year, and man, did we get a show, and we are going to talk about it. We are going to go through each match, give you our ideas and our thoughts, and also kind of talk about what we predicted and maybe some of the things we predicted right. We're going to have a blast doing it, plus we got some big news we're going to be uncovering that has been blasted across the airwaves, the internet, everything, I'm sure, just this evening. So we are totally going to get into that as well. It's going to be a big topic. You don't want to miss that. And, of course, we have a few other things at the end of the show that we'll get into. But, man, I know we have a lot to talk about. But before we do, I want to introduce everybody on the show. I'm your host, Gary Vaughn. With me, our producer and our co-host, Sean Garmer.
What's up, everybody?
And Mr. Paul Leeser over there hanging out. What's going on with you, bro?
Not a lot, man. How have you been?
Good. And, of course, we have Mr. Patrick Ketza. He is Wrestling Unwrapped. That's right. He has got his big show. He did his first episode this past week. And, of course, as part of the W2M network, we're stoked about it. Man, Patrick, welcome to the show.
We were mentioning beforehand, it's great that it's not sounding awkward when you say I'm from that show anymore.
So true. So true. You know, back then we didn't know if we could announce it. So now we can. I have no fears. We're good, Patrick.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. And, of course, we can't do a New Japan pay-per-view show without our New Japan guy, right? That is right. We have Tom on the show once again. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hey, guys. Happy New Year.
Man, Happy New Year to you, too. And, man, I'm excited. Not only do we have a great panel here to talk New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 10, but we've got a lot of cool stuff that we're going to get into that I'm really, really excited about it. So let's don't delay it any longer. Let's go ahead and get into this thing, and let's go ahead and kick it off with the first part of Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Paul.
Yeah. I didn't know if you had a playthrough or anything like that. So, did anybody here watch the New Japan Rumble besides me?
I watched it.
Patrick, anybody?
I watched as much as I could. We were still having trouble with New Japan World during the Rumble.
How about you, Tom? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Me too. So we've got at least three of us, Paul, looks like, that have watched it in full. I sure did.
Okay, that's good. Jado wins here. There's a whole bunch of people in this. It's an entertaining time. Mostly because cheeseburger, but
and Haku, don't forget about Haku.
Well, that was just cool. I mean, I'm surprised everybody didn't run out of the ring whenever Haku came into the ring, but mostly cheeseburger here, in my opinion. But what'd you guys think?
What'd you think, Tom?
I enjoyed it because, these things are like, nostalgia things, so it's just fun to see the older guys, it's got to go way back. So for me, it seemed like Kabuki, Koshinaka, even Hiroshi Saito, and yes, cheeseburger was entertaining.
Tom,
I really thought I thought it was going to come back cheeseburger and Liger. I really did.
Yes.
I really wondered. I really did. But, it was just nice to see those guys, in there for such a long time. I was really concerned Cheeseburger was going to be in and out, and he was, thank God, a lot of this, Rumble. And the one thing I just got to ask this question, Tom. You followed this product for so long. What do you think about having the legend, the guy that debuted in 1964, Kabuki, right, as a part of this Rumble? I mean, it's to me, it was amazing.
You talk about Fujiwara.
Is that who? I'm sorry, I got
Fujiwara. Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah, Fujiwara. Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun seeing him because he always cracks me up. It's just like, he was a shooter and everything. But and he was great. He was cool here, to see him. But he was actually great in the Tenru retirement show a couple months back.
Mm.
See, I didn't know that. See, and that's why I have to go to you, Tom. So I really appreciate the corrections. I'm probably the least, worthy guy.
At least he's better than Kabuki, who looks like he really shouldn't be out there anymore.
Oh yeah. Paul. Watching this. Did you enjoy as much as I did? Because I'm sorry. The one thing that I think about this, Paul, is I'm thinking, okay, the Royal Rumble for WB is right around the corner. This is New Japan's Royal Rumble in the way. I'm already like, screw the Royal Rumble we got with WWE. I love this. I don't care if it's a kickoff match or what. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the legends. You're never going to get that with WWE. This is awesome, if you ask me.
Yeah, this is also just a fun little thing to sort of warm up the crowd some. Fujiwara was cool. Kabuki, I'm surprised, can still walk at this point.
Yes.
There's some other guys that were cool, like Koshinaka, who got to have a fun little bit with Taguchi, and maybe might have made him the most entertaining I've ever seen in my life. Dorada looking awesome. For a long time I really thought they were gonna let Cheeseburger win, honestly I think I would have preferred that over Jado.
Yoshihashi looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there.
Mm-hmm.
Feel bad for the guy.
Oh man, yeah.
You're so excited coming out.
Just had this terrible scowl on his face. You've got to be kidding me! I'm out here with these freaking old ass guys.
Oh man, Patrick. Did you see anything in this match that you were thoroughly excited about? Anything you were kind of wondering? I don't know.
Oh, Cheeseburger far and away. He was the best part of the whole damn match. Like you said, it was, cool to see all the old-timers, seeing Fujiwara and everything. It almost is the WrestleMania 17 gimmick battle royal, but done right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me. It was not like last year. It was more like an actual Royal Rumble. This year, it was much more like that gimmick battle royal because they had guys coming in every 10 seconds. It's
yeah.
That's what made it exciting for me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I was just in a good mood, man. I must have been. I just really enjoyed it. I think the Legends part really excited me because, like I said, in America, WBE, you see Legends, but let's be honest, you don't see Legends from way back when. You don't see that happen. They kind of regulate it. My God, it took them. They still won't let Jake the Snake Roberts in WBE's Rumble. So it was nice to see this where a lot of legends could be a part of it, even if they didn't do a whole lot, even like Haku. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know it's a throwaway gimmick match, but to me it was a blast.
Yeah, I completely agree. Great way to kick off the show. The not so great part follows with the weird commercial part, which I'm not even going to deign to talk about. So let's just get into the show.
Jeez.
We opened the show with the 4-way tag team match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Red Dragon defends against Matt Sydal and Ricochet, Rapagni Vice, and the Young Bucks. With the Young Bucks ending up winning the match, pinning Rocky Romero to win the belts back again. Fourth time, fourth time, something like that. Anyways, I thought the match was really fun. It's a fun sprint. about 17 minutes. But we'll shoot it to Tom.
I think the way to put it is a fun sprint. I loved Rocky Romero in this match. This guy's awesome. They couldn't have pulled that suplex spot off without him. All 8 guys. But the flip dive by Ricochet once again, that was incredible. I really thought that Roppongi Vice was going to win, but Bucks won. It was a good opener.
Shoot, Patrick?
Like you guys said, and I think also this got like almost double the time that the similar match had gotten for Wrestle Kingdom 9 last year. But personally, out of the 4 teams here, the Young Bucks, and I'm saying this as someone who does like the Young Bucks, I don't think they needed to win. They really didn't. I think, having the Junior Tag League winners, Seidel and Ricochet, had won it, being the only team that hadn't won it, the titles yet. If they had won it, I think it would have meant more. But to me, this just seemed like the Young Bucks were winning just so the Bullet Club would have just say they got a big title win, at the end of the night, no matter how anything else finished.
Mm-hmm. All right, and it's certainly a fair point. I picked the Bucks to win this just because New Japan doesn't seem to want to keep those belts on anybody for a long period of time. But Gary, what do you think about this match?
I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, I just thought, all these guys and everything that they did, let's just be honest. Paul, you said it was going to be the flippies, right? And sometimes it ended up being that way. But I think the energy that everyone brought, it was exciting. Really, the Young Bucks winning did not bother me any. I kind of figured that they were on an upswing. I mean, they just signed a deal with New Japan. They had the whole thing going with them, so to me it makes a little bit of sense here. But really, any of these teams winning would have made me happy. I can't lie. So I really didn't have a dog in the fight. I just sat back and enjoyed it.
Yeah. Sean, you want to put a bow on this?
It was actually I think I kind of didn't care too much for it. I didn't think it was that great when I first watched it live. Then when I rewatched it, I really enjoyed it, and I liked it the most because it wasn't the flippies. I liked the fact that they had flippies and it made sense, sort of. They also had the Young Bucks actually working holds, and it felt more like a match. And I think nobody's talked about it, but it was a shining moment for Cody Hall. I mean,
yeah,
the Razor's Edge that he does to Ricochet. I was scared for Ricochet because the guys actually had to hold him up because he didn't get any air on the Razor's Edge. But that's another thing for another day. That was cool because he got great heat for that segment. Normally I'd hate it, the fact that he got involved, but it kind of all made sense. It went into the finish, and total Young Bucks to steal a move from somebody else and then do their own to cap it off and win.
Right.
The one thing I'm sorry, I may have missed someone talking about this, but did we talk about the group getting together and Romero being left out?
Oh, for the suplex spot?
The suplex. I love the suplex spot.
Oh, and I love the most that the crowd got up for was the forever clothesline spot that he did, which was great. So.
Yeah. So, that was one point. I'm sorry, as silly as it may be, that's another thing that adds upon this. I love the comedy portion of this. That's what really, it was more entertaining than it was anything. The flippy stuff was not heavy, but at the same point, it was entertaining without that. So.
Yeah, and I think the other part that interested me was the fans were totally up on Rocky Romero like they always are, but I think they were entertained by the rest of the gang here too. Not to say that a lot of these guys are certainly strangers to him, but it felt like they were more involved in this match than it felt like they were in the last year's four-way tag match. So, I thought that was a nice bonus for me as well. But let's go ahead and move on to the six-man tag team match for the newly made, never open-weight six-man tag team titles. Toru Yano brings in the Briscoes to take on the Bullet Club B team and Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, and Yujiro Takahashi. This was kind of meh for me, but what do you think, Tom?
I think Fale should never wear white pants again.
Amen.
He looked like one of the headhunters out there. I don't know if you guys remember those guys, but they're just like big fat guys.
That used to be
But,
yeah.
No, the match was, like you said, it was just meh. It was there. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it was all right. I thought the Briscoes were good. I like how Briscoe got the focus toward the end, to get all their big stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they're a big part of New Japan going forward.
The door is certainly open for that, and which we'll talk about later. But I think this whole match was sort of geared as an introduction to the Briscoes, because I felt like they controlled a good portion of the match. But that might just be what do you think, Patrick?
No, I absolutely agree. I was surprised, that they would get a title on their debut in New Japan, but I was almost dead certain that this was going to Bullet Club. Mostly the one main thing I got out there is, what the hell is the name of Takahashi's arm candy? Because, my God.
Shiori is her name, but...
But I mean, I didn't think it was that bad of a match, but I think it was so different from the previous match that it kind of went, okay, hang on, wait, what are we seeing here now?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of made for kind of an awkward phase, I think.
Almost a palate cleanser, I would say. What do you think, Gary?
I'm kind of like you guys on this. It was a decent match. I enjoyed seeing the Briscoes in this format, especially against this Bullet Club. And, I think that for the most part, we got some spots that were entertaining. I'm trying to remember the pinpoint the time, but it's something silly. But at the same point, when we had Mark to kind of take out somebody, and he ran by out of nowhere and went, "Ee!" That was so fun because the announcers even kind of popped for it a little bit. But besides that, I mean, we had some things in this match that were decent, but nothing to blow you out of the water. Just very average. But okay, I don't. Once again, don't have a problem with the Briscoes and Yano winning these titles, this new triple titles that New Japan has. It's just the fact that. I kind of get everybody's point where Bullet Club seems like the team that you're going to point your finger at. Why didn't they get it?
That's a fair point, and certainly something that I would agree with because Tama Tonga needs some gold, in my opinion. But Sean, what do you think about this guy?
I actually like this. You had a little bit of everything. You didn't have anything like where Yano and Briscoes did anything together until the finish, sort of, but it kind of allowed each person to have their little moment. You had Yano do his thing. Yano looks incredibly weird with just the black hair. That kind of threw me off for a little while. But I really like that Mark got his time. Jay came in at the end and got his moment there, and then Yano got to kind of have his little thing where he did the break and got everybody into it, and I love the ending with him hitting them with a chair and them doing the Doomsday Device and they win. I mean, and Briscoes win the first ever 6-man. Of anybody, you think Yano, he's not winning a title, right? And then he wins, and it's like, wow, all right, this is happening.
It is indeed happening. And
how does this work, though? Sorry, Paul. I got to ask before we get out of this. How does this work? So the Briscoes are going to have to defend these, right? How regular will they defend these with Yano?
I mean, they have the shows in Japan for Ring of Honor coming up in February. I'm sure Yano might make the trip over for the anniversary show. A lot of the New Japan talent is on for that. But that would be my thinking.
Okay, I mean, you make a great point there, and I wasn't there. I really kind of blanked on the Ring of Honor. Actually, will be going over there. You're correct on that. So, but their working relationship works, and that's fine. I think that makes sense. I just was a little bit concerned, like, would they be able to, put those titles up for grabs very much? And it looks like they will be able to.
At least for the first half of the year.
Yes.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't imagine it's going to be a long reign for these three, to be honest with you. But I mean, the biggest thing I want to know coming out of this match is who watched this on English commentary, because Stryker made a very, very plain fat joke about Fale eating too much over the holiday break and putting on about 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the train wreck would not end here.
Oh my
Oh,
god. I really wish I hadn't listened to it in English commentary. Just like Paul said, this was the beginning of a total train wreck for most of this show for the English commentary.
I just got to say this, and I'm going to ask you guys the same question. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so compared to what they had last year with JR and Stryker, where at times they were kind of lost, well, since JR was new to the product, but not only that, they had no idea what was coming next. They were out of the loop. There was no truck for them. They were just on their own. So saying that, compared to this year, I'm still kind of leaning towards last year, even though I kind of like Kevin Kelly. I love Stryker. I'm a Stryker fan, even though everybody else hates him. And the Yoshi was the one that threw me off the most, guys. It was because he was supposed to be the translator, and it was like they had to remind him every time, hey, what does that mean? Just do it, Yoshi. Tell us what they say. Come on.
Yoshi also wins for just simply boldface answering questions with yes or no, and that's it.
Oh, Jesus.
Might have been my favorite part of the evening.
I was legitimately at some point waiting for Yoshitatsu to ask how much does this guy weigh.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, and then, I mean, like, with Yoshitatsu, just, Mike Stryker would throw to him and he'd be like, yes. Come on.
Yep.
So bad.
I don't like those guys. Oh, I did not like that. Oh, why didn't you like that? I did not like it. Come on.
Clearly, commentator of the year is what we're trying to tell you folks at home.
Yeah.
But we got some more matches to get to. Jay Lethal is up next defending that ROH World title against Michael Elgin. And this is the first match that perplexed me as far as booking choices go. Because Lethal retains here, and I was totally not expecting that. Were you, Tom?
No, I wasn't expecting that at all. This was the first of the surprises before I finish it, though, which I'll kind of get to later as to why I think so. But I thought it was a good match that probably would have played better in a smaller building because, you know, Elgin's over, but nobody really knows Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the match was still really good. I thought the finish was kind of good, even though it's interference. So I'm not really for the interference in Japan, but it was still pretty cool. You know, Truth Martini had his book there in Japanese, so yeah, it was good. You know, it's a typical Elgin match with the power moves and all that.
Yeah, and the crowd totally ate up those power moves, and also, you know, a tip of the hat to Martini for getting the Book of Truth in Japanese, because that was just a win all the way around. But I mean, this is totally an ROH match just happening to take place at Wrestle Kingdom, which I don't know if I'm a giant fan of, seeing as we've already gotten shenanigans in the other two matches, and maybe that's just the direction where New Japan's going. But what are your thoughts on this, Patrick?
I think the match placed it was specifically because you had just seen the title change for the first match. You had just seen a brand new title, so it had to change for the second match. And with the fact that 8 out of the 9 matches on this card were title matches, it's like eventually you had to get a title retention, and this just happened to be it. I think it's mostly what it was. The match itself, I had absolutely no gripes about it. I thought it was a decent enough match, short for Ring of Honor title match standards, but when you look at all the other matches on this card, you can understand why. So I was kind of surprised that Truth Martini was out there, and I figured if they had Truth Martini, why didn't they also bring Taylor Hendricks with? But, I mean, other than that, Elgin looked like Elgin, which is usually very strong, very powerful. He looked great. Lethal, did the best that he could as well, and I was absolutely okay with the match.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problems with the match itself. Just the booking sort of perplexes me here with Lethal retaining. This I don't know why you would want to do this here if you didn't want to have Elgin win on the big stage, but how about you, Gary?
The Elgin thing doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't bother me, but at the same point, I totally get where you're coming from because this is the perfect place. He did such a great job at the G1 tournament. I mean, he was a big deal. They love him over there. A portion of the crowd really does dig Elgin. And so this is the time, especially if you're kind of promoting Ring of Honor here over New Japan. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't understand it either. But, I mean, I think I picked in our predictions, I'm pretty sure I picked Lethal anyway. So it's really perplexed. But I will say this, though. I mean, Paul, Tom, you guys have already talked about this, but this was everything that a Ring of Honor match is. It's just slapped into New Japan's arena,
I think
right?
the one thing we're forgetting here is that Michael Elgin's working without a contract with ROH right now, and they're not going to give the title to a guy that they don't know if next week he goes to NXT.
True.
So, and he could also sign with New Japan, where he's only a New Japan guy as well. So we need to remember that point, that's possible.
Yeah, but,
I'm not sure
You
if
know
he's
what else,
going to
though?
do that, though.
You could have still given him the title today, and then he could have lost it back next month during the Ring of Honor tour.
Right, but then that
So the
makes
contract
Elgin
wouldn't have
feel...
mattered then,
Right, but that makes Elgin feel like he has to stick around for a month. What if he doesn't want to? That's the point. Like, maybe,
Right.
and to be honest, like, I think that what that does for Jay Lethal as far as his character, as far as having 2 big wins in the matter of less than a month for his title reign after he lost the TV title too, I think that helps him a lot. Whereas for Elgin, does it really hurt him? It hurts as far as, like, it hurts Wrestle Kingdom as having that big moment, but it's not like this show didn't have a lot of big moments in it.
That's true.
That's fair. And I said it on the preview too. I wasn't ready for Lethal's reign to be over. It felt like this was the place to do it. And like I said, I mean, they are coming back here in February. I figured that would be why they would want to put it on Elgin. Because I mean, we'll get to this later with the news topic. But I mean, I don't know how much they're going to want Elgin after what they did today. So
Yeah.
I have a question, Paul. I mean, this is the question I have for you. Is they brought a few people over, even though they're just ringside people. Where the heck was Taylor Hendricks? And with Truth and all that. I mean, come on, the House of Truth.
I just asked that.
Did you really? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Well, maybe she just didn't want to go over there.
I guess I give credit to you, man, Patrick. I didn't hear that. I apologize, but yeah, I mean, this is it boggles your mind so much. You got to ask it twice, okay?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. Other than maybe she didn't want to go, or maybe she had another date, or she had to work, or something like that. But
maybe she has a lawsuit or something like that, or felony or something. You never know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Her last name's Hendricks, not Hardy.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry, confusing the two. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to Kenny Omega defending that IWGP Junior Heavyweight title against Kushida. This was a really fun match. I felt like that found its way towards the end. There's like Kushida's baseball swing here with the punch just straight to Omega's face was downright brutal. As he does end up winning the championship again here. I really like this match by the end of it, though. How about you? Tom?
This is where the show really started to take off for me. Because this match was great. Kushida still has the best ring entrance video in wrestling, and he added to it with the 1-4-16, which was cool. And he had his little what do you call that guy from Back to the Future that does thing out there in the ring? That was pretty Brown.
Yeah, Taiguchi as Doc
Yeah,
Brown.
yeah. That was pretty funny. And like you said, that baseball swing.
Brown.
Yeah.
I also like the
was
callback
absolutely
to
awesome.
that was Omega's first match against Taguchi last year, so it was a nice callback to that. Taguchi being the guy that's playing Doc Brown.
That's right. Yeah. This match was excellent. Kushida's awesome, and Omega, when he doesn't do all the over-the-top stuff, with the selling and the gimmick, he's actually awesome in the ring. And he was great here. Just everything was great. Everything was great. Just the baseball punch was just awesome. I wish he would have did it a little later in the match. Could have been better toward the finish, but that's not really a pick or anything. I just love Kushida's just great. I could do without the interference of the Bucks, but whatever. The match was still great, and I was glad to see Kushida win.
Yeah, for sure. Kushida absolutely deserves the reign. And, I mean, outside interference might as well have been the theme around Wrestle Kingdom, because we're going to get more of that before this evening is over. Patrick, what do you think? Oh, Patrick.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. I like Tom just said, I think this is where the show kind of started to kick into its next gear, kind of a second gear, third gear. And yeah, probably could have done without the Young Bucks interference, but at the same time, I did like them drumming the Terminator theme on the garbage cans.
Oh, that was magical.
The match, which I found to be absolutely awesome, and I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan. But this match was just amazing, and yeah, that baseball swing punch was just absolutely brutal. But at the same time, once again, I was really, really happy to see Kushida get the win in the end. And it just made for kind of a real happy moment and kind of a return to form for Kushida, I think. So I'm intrigued to see where it kind of goes from here, though, especially with the fact that now that's, one title gained and essentially 2 titles lost in 3 of the first 4 matches for the Bullet Club.
That's very true.
Looking at this match and, just I don't want to repeat what you guys say, because you guys basically covered, the whole starting from first gear and going on and just revving up to an amazing match. I mean, I want to point a couple things out. Kushida, I mean, this guy continues to amaze me. I just enjoy his work so much. And Kenny Omega is, besides my boy Naito, this is a major awesome heel. I love him. I think he is great, and this guy, I mean, he sells me every time I watch a match with him. I mean, so that is something not to be questioning for, something we'll be talking about later, why his name isn't put in those places. But just overall, man, great match. I mean, you guys pointed out you didn't need the interference, but you know what? It worked. To me, it didn't mess anything up. It was okay. Doc Brown got back involved in the match and tried to help Marty McFly. It was a story that overall ended up pretty good.
Yeah, that was that's why I didn't mind the Young Bucks interference so much, because you get it in every one of Omega's matches, at least for a minute or so, and it really made the Taguchi coming back later with the trash cans just actually a bigger moment. I thought, again, just like the one with Cody Hall, that one actually worked. There's other ones later on where it doesn't work at all, and that's why you can't do them every match where it seems like they do it for a lot of these, because it takes away these genuine moments that you have for this. And I mean, I really love it's, you know what you're going to get with Kushida. He's going to work on the arm, but it seems like you know what you're going to get, and somehow they keep finding different ways to make it unique, Just Omega still doing a one-arm, powerbomb is pretty awesome. I think that they've had some better matches, though, personally. I didn't think this was the best one out of the bunch. But this was certainly pretty good, though, and I'm hoping that we need to discuss this. Do we think that, because this happened last year, Wrestle Kingdom, all these title changes happened next month? Bullet Club got all the titles back. Now, obviously, some of that's going to change, but you think they're really going to give it to Kushida this time and let him do something with it?
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom on this because they've given him two. This is his third reign. His first two reigns, I think he's had one successful defense out of all of them. So it's time to either put up or shut up with your quote unquote ace of the division here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think that they already have one. Well, his Fantastica Mini opponent's already been named, but hopefully a new beginning. They already have a guy for him, and they can start bringing in some people to kind of stack that juniors division, because that's the problem too. Same thing with the tag division. They, except for when they brought in Seidel and Ricochet, they don't have anybody really new to like stick in there. It's the same rotation of guys, and it seems to keep dwindling as the time goes on too.
And I want to point out, Sean, I think you're correct. This wasn't the best match we've seen Kushida have overall, even over the year. But even compared to last year's match to me still was way better. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one. So, I mean, I do hope that Kushida continues to run with it, and hopefully they allow him to do that.
Completely agree. And Sean was talking earlier about making genuine moments, and I think you have one during the IWGP Tag Team title match. As Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson of the Bullet Club defend against Great Bash Heel, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Honma. This was an insanely well-worked tag match, in my opinion. Makabe and Honma really, really held up their end of the bargain as the underdogs, and Bullet Club was just Bullet Club. Showing that, I mean, Karl Anderson worked at an amazing pace. I think Doc Gallows more than held his own, which is rare. But I loved this match top to bottom, especially the Great Bash Heel getting that win. What'd you think about it, though, Tom?
It's finally cool now to see Honda as like a player and not just a guy that puts on the great match and then loses. He's actually like a champion now. And you can see how the people just loved it. I mean, just genuinely love this guy. But the match, yeah, I like the match. The match was really good. Take away that outfit on Gallows. I could do without that. That white.
Lord.
He looked like a total clown. I don't know. The guy's just, I don't know. He just rubs me
looks
the
like a
wrong way.
clown all the time. I mean.
Yeah. But the white just like accented it, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, God. Yeah, this match was really good. I really enjoyed this match. Honda and Makabe, they could be a fun team to watch this year.
I completely agree with that, and I really hope they get a long reign here and they find some teams to challenge them, because you could have some fun dynamics with both these guys. But what did you think about it, Patrick?
Yeah, I thought this was a really good, really fun match, and I honestly absolutely loved the Kokushe Doomsday Device, and I thought that was kind of a perfect way to kind of round about everything. Obviously, you hope that they get a title reign, but you kind of wonder, did New Japan know something about the news that wouldn't end up breaking, and was this kind of a rush title change, or are they actually going to let Makabe and Honma have a lengthy run? And I think that's kind of what everyone's hoping for right now.
I mean, that's a great question, if they even thought about it. But I think the ink was on here for Makabe and Honma to get the run. But, what do you think about it, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that point, and it does make you wonder how much knowledge they had. But, I mean, to me, right now it's kind of time for them to change over, because Honma is getting hotter and hotter, and I think that's definitely the way you want to go. So it makes a lot of sense. Pretty good match here. I couldn't believe, that, the Bullet Club guys here, these guys, by themselves were just going mad. I mean, they had this more energy than I've seen them have in a long time. And let me be honest, I haven't watched a lot of their stuff lately. But, man, in this match, they had so much energy. I don't know if their future has them excited or what, but maybe they're just excited about the fact that they have, the NWA Women's Champion with them or something. Maybe that's what excites them.
Maybe.
One of them has her permanently.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway, I think this is as we have a call in here, but what's up, Mr. Christopher Hale? How are you doing?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good, man.
All right, we're just talking about the show. Do you want to give your thoughts on what you liked, what you didn't like, all that?
Yeah. Damn. I mean, overall for me, I think it was heads and shoulders above last year's show, in my opinion. There was 3 early match of the year contenders that I think could easily probably withstand the test of time throughout the year. Being I think the Never Openweight Championship match and the final 2 matches, the Nakamura Styles and the Okada Tanahashi match. Overall, I thought it was an awesome show.
Well, I know you're probably not gonna. I mean, it's really late, so I know you're just getting off work. So if you want to, do you want to talk about the big news that happened?
Big news. I haven't heard the big news yet.
Uh-oh.
You have not heard about the big news yet? Okay, well, I guess I'm sure everybody that's listening to this already knows, so we're not going to sit here and act like the people listening are dumb or anything. About, I want to say, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, Court Bauer posted on Twitter. Now, if you don't know, Court Bauer has he used to run a wrestling promotion called Major League Wrestling. He was also a former WWE writer, creative writer, and that folded, but he kept the MLW name for his podcast network. Well, one of the people that are on the podcast network is a podcast called Talkin' Shop, which always has Doc Gallows, Rocky Romero, Tama Tonga, AJ's been on there before, and Anderson obviously, and whatever. So he put on Twitter that he's making a New Japan podcast, and it was basically to announce that AJ, Nakamura, Anderson, and Gallows all gave their notice to New Japan, and that pretty much that's because they're probably coming over to WWE.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Rocky Romero is probably going to come as an NXT trainer too. But,
really?
So.
Huh. Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. But also, I just hope to the Lord that they are used correctly.
Oh, they will be.
I don't want them to be. I don't want them to go over there and just kind of fall into the depths. You know what I mean?
What they're going to do, Christopher, is they're going to start a new club. It's going to be run by Finn Balor called the Pistol Club. And they're going to say that, the safety's on, but get ready, we're coming with fire. So,
wow.
No, I kid, but I'm with you, Christopher, on that. I know these guys probably are on the same board, but, man, they've got to use these guys right because they're taking major talent away from New Japan, and New Japan knows how to use them. I'm worried a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, huge. I mean, especially after what we saw last night, it scared me because Hitani went over there. I understand he's been injured for a year now, but I feel like he had a really kind of hot entrance, and then it kind of started to kind of tread water a little bit. And I don't know if that's just because the WWE and kind of American fans don't really know how to take a international guy, or just because they're not using him correctly.
I think what you're worried about is not the same here because look at Asuka and look at Itami. The difference is Nakamura has more charisma in his pinky finger than Itami does. It's just
I understand. Yeah, you're right. I understand where you're coming from now. I mean, I think Itami can. But yeah, I mean, Nakamura's Nakamura. You can't really. There's no way of describing him other than just saying he's Nakamura.
I mean,
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not worried about him with NXT. Wow. I'm more worried about if Vince gets his hands on one of them or all. I mean, I mean, you really can't mess up Doc Gallows, but he already messes up himself, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, is this like as far as the notice goes, like, is it not like a 2-week notice? It's like
No.
how long of a notice?
I mean, for
like 6 months,
Nakamura,
or?
I'm sure it's a while because, you know, he has commitments, I'm sure. But, you know,
Yeah.
AJ didn't have a contract, so we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised at all if TakeOver Dallas, we see some of these guys, and Nakamura is maybe the Raw after WrestleMania kind
Cool.
of thing.
Oh,
So.
man. Yeah, that'd be intense. That would be intense.
I mean, you have to debut him in that kind of crowd because nobody else is going to pop for him like that except for those kind of crowds.
No, absolutely not. Unless you have him debut in like Chicago or something, or Philadelphia. Wow, that's cool though. That's awesome. I'm sorry I missed that news. Damn, I'm usually pretty up on it, but.
Hey, you're at work, you know, sometimes you gotta actually, you know, pay attention to what you're doing and
unfortunately, yeah.
not totally important wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Christopher, you have anything else for us? Anything you want to talk about? Anything else?
Oh, man. I mean, overall, I thought the show was great. I liked how it really, from the very beginning, it was good and just got better and better and better. Like, there's some shows that kind of, you know, they start off really good and kind of have a low point in the middle and kind of ramp up to that final. So I felt like every match was a little better than the other one. I really enjoyed all the tag matches, honestly. Even the Karl Anderson and Gallows and Hama and Makabe match. I thought that was really well performed. I really enjoyed the ROH matches. I love how the Japanese crowd is just like loving Michael Elgin. And I mean, I like Michael Elgin too. So I thought the whole show was really well done. The last 3 matches, I thought that never open weight match, like, I literally was like shielding my eyes at some point because I was like, wow, I'm literally going to see somebody either get like busted in half or die in the middle of the ring right now. I was like, some of the hits that they were doing to each other were just absolutely incredible. I was like, oh, they're gonna break something. Like, someone's gonna take a forearm and it's just gonna break. And it's just like, and then the Omega and Kushida match, that right hand that Kushida nailed Omega with was amazing. For lack of a better word, just incredible. I mean, it was just the whole show. I thought really well. All the matches had great stories to them. The finale, the Styles and Nakamura match was great, and I was like, wow, that's an awesome match. And then all of a sudden, the Tanahashi and Okada match happened, and I was blown away. That was just, you know, if there's a better match that happens this year, I'm going to have to watch it with a diaper on, literally. Because that match, I was like, it's got to be over now. Okay, they've hit the crescendo. They've done all the moves. They've kicked out of everything. All right, it's got to be. Nope, it's not over yet. Okay, it happens again. Nope, it's not over yet. It keeps kicking out, and all of a sudden, and then finally, after like a dozen Rainmaker clotheslines, it finally ends. And I was just like, I stood up, and I was actually watched it at work, and I just clapped, and I said yes, and everyone looked at me, and I said, I don't care, because that match was amazing, and I don't care. It was awesome. That was honestly a 5 out of 5 for me. It had everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been talking about it. We haven't got to the end of it yet in our review, but yeah, for the first part, I mean, we were in agreement, and it was cool. So, yeah, I mean, definitely, Chris, we really appreciate you calling, man, and good talking to you.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I gotta go to work, go home, go sleep a little bit, and go back to work at 7. So
awesome.
2:30 my time right now. So.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't get to sleep much.
Oh yeah, good stuff. I know. That's all right though.
Well, don't be a stranger,
all right, guys. All right, I won't. Definitely not. I appreciate you letting me on. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later.
All right. Bye.
All right, Paul.
Anybody else have any more thoughts on the tag title match before we move on, I guess?
I really love the fact that they let Hanma kind of be the driving force of that team in this match. I mean, Makabe kind of sort of played like a bit part. It was basically the Hanma show, and that was, when it was him and Anderson, and they were having really good exchanges. Gallows kind of played his part there, but I mean, just it really kind of shone through what Tom said, that Hanma is now somebody that is important. And that's so nice to see.
Okay, so Hanma has his own show in the morning, right? Is this like a 5 days a week show?
Both him and Makabe have shows.
Yeah,
So
Okay, so is this 5 days a week show kind of thing?
That I don't know. I'm assuming so. It's a morning show.
Tom, do you know?
I've seen clips of it on YouTube. Don't know what the hell they talk about, but anything with Hanma is entertaining.
He's just watching them drinking coffee and laughing with a bunch of Japanese women. They're like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, like, I don't know what they said, but it looks pretty cool. I love it.
I guess we'll move on to the next bit of booking here that confused me to no end, even though I wasn't entirely upset about it. But in our only non-title match of the evening, Tetsuya Naito takes on Hiroki Goto. Naito, of course, has Bushi and Evil with him. And somehow Goto goes over here in a completely mind-boggling sort of... How did that happen? Tom, how did this happen?
This one was actually the biggest shock on the show to me. I thought it was a shoo-in that Naito wins. I don't know. But I like this match because, lately Naito's matches, you have the first half where it's all stalling and, getting out of the ring, doing a little thing. This one, they went right at it, almost from the get-go, brawling. And a chair spot where he put the chair around Goto's neck and then just, I think it was Evil that did it, and then just whacked the chair that was on his neck. Oh, not recommended, but this match is really good. And it's just, after this match, I just threw all logic out the window. I said, I don't know what the hell is going to happen the rest of the way now, because you figure Naito, he hasn't gotten a big win yet. Lost to Tanahashi, lost to Goto here, didn't win the tag tournament. I don't know.
Yeah, still hasn't won at a Wrestle Kingdom, has Naito.
Yeah, that's true. I think what they're trying to get at is, I think you have what WWE thinks they have with Bray Wyatt, where Naito really doesn't give a flying F about whether he wins or loses. He was smiling at the end of that match, so, and the way he does it, it doesn't really hurt him per se. So, because people are just into his character. He was getting cheers when he was announced and stuff. So, I mean, I think, you just got to be a little bit careful with him. But I understand this because I think it would have hurt Goto more than it would have hurt a guy that doesn't care if he wins or loses. So, yeah. And then Evil doing the stuff with the... I think it looks dumb with the whole... Here are my hands. They have lasers coming out of them. That just... that doesn't look cool. It looks corny. But yeah, I mean, I did like the fact that Goto got to this, he looked strong here. He disposed of the Ingobernables, and Matt Striker had the only thing I'll say is that Matt Striker had the line of the night with the... Man, these referees have to be the stupidest people on earth. In here. I was like, wow, he said that. Okay, he said that. Wow.
I can't remember if it was this match or one later on in the evening where he talks about, somebody blowing somebody up with a bomb or something like that.
It's the next match. It's the next match because I was going to bring that one up myself.
Yeah, that was the most perplexing thing I think I've ever heard a commentator say on a wrestling show in my life. But Patrick, what do you think about Goto Naito here?
By this point, I was getting a little bit tired. so I don't remember this match, but I do remember how it was essentially throw all logic out the window and what the hell's going on. And Goto, picking up the win, and Naito not being able to still get a win at a Wrestle Kingdom is kind of a perplexing situation, especially with everything going for Naito. But I almost feel like they still want to try and get those cheers down and just get everything anti-Naito before they do anything for him. So hopefully by next year, he'll finally pick up a Wrestle Kingdom win, but it still was a questionable thing, and this was a show of very few questionable decisions, but even I found this one just really weird.
Oh, but they're going to Osaka next, so he'll just get cheered up the wazoo.
Pretty much.
What happened at the G1, so that's not going to help them any.
And here's the thing, knowing what we know now, maybe this result isn't as bad as we think it is for Naito, because now the door is open. Wide open for both of these guys, really. But, Gary, your boy Naito taking a loss here.
How did you like that furry white mask for Naito, Gary?
I thought that was quite interesting, honestly. That's why I always call him the Jericho of New Japan, because he's always reinventing himself, right? I love that little mask. It's what it is. But I was very offended about the match. Very offended, because the result was not what it was supposed to be, right? I think he should have won. I had to look at it in the bright side of things, because you guys pointed out the door is open, and so Naito can still come out of this. So I'm just going to use that comparison that I always use and think, okay, if Y2J can lose big matches and still do what he did, I think Naito can too. I just think that Naito's future is still bright even after this. I wish he could win at Wrestle Kingdom. What is up with that? Sean, I love your Bray Wyatt reference. That is exactly what's going on here. It is, but at the same point, to me, it doesn't do a whole lot to help him. I guess it will. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because if we're going to use the Bray Wyatt example, then when does too much become so much that you can't really use the character effectively anymore?
Right, but, he's still got a little ways to go before we get to that point.
And I understand that, but, why even venture down that road at this point,
Well, who is it?
Because they're not going to have him, beat guys by somebody having a TV explode in their face. So,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jesus. I hope not.
Or have singing children, or
that singing children thing was cool to me. I don't. Why people hate that so much. The one thing saying about this, okay, so he doesn't get a win at Wrestle Kingdom. Still hasn't. Maybe one day. But then you got Karl Anderson and Gallows. Which one of them, I can't remember, said something about, hey, this is our 8th Wrestle Kingdom.
Anderson's 8th.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Our 8th Wrestle Kingdom, we're doing some Undertaker blankety blank. And now you got Naito, and I'm fearful that he's going to be the opposite of Undertaker. He's just going to lose his entire career at Wrestle Kingdom.
All I can say, Gary, is bite your tongue.
I'm trying, Paul, but they're not giving me confidence.
Let's get into the part of the show where it really kicks up, and as Larry over at 411 called the Murderer's Row of main events, which I find an apropos assumption or comparison here. First up, the never openweight title, Tomohiro Ishii defends against Katsuyori Shibata. This is as close as two guys can come to murdering each other without using weapons. Because good lord, these hits were brutal, absolutely brutal. Tom, are you surprised that both these guys are alive to tell the tale?
We've watched Ishii do these type of matches for so long now. It makes you wonder. The guy is like, I don't know. Say without weapons, they are weapons. Both of them.
I'm pretty sure Ishii is held together by cement. There's no blood or muscle or ligaments. It's just cement.
When he was coming, I'll tell you what, when he was coming down to the ring, sort of ran the cameras, facing right at him, I turned to my buddy and I said, if he's walking down a narrow sidewalk, I'm getting off and letting him go by. Something that kind of thing. I'm not gonna bother. Yeah, exactly. But God, they started off right. I don't know if you guys remember the G1 match in 2014 that they had in Osaka, I think it was, where they started off exactly the same, just slapping a hit and then kicking, and then they did the old sit down. I'll take your kick. All right, I'll sit down. I'll take your kick. And you can take one or two of those things, but after like the 15th one, I gotta believe it hurts. But
about like after that fourth one from Shibata, I think I felt Ishii like lose some vertebrae there. Good God.
And you know what it is? When he does that, when Ishii gets hit like that, you believe he's in so much pain. But like I said, he's been doing it for so long. I'm like, how? But the match was just so. It was brutal, but it was nothing we haven't seen before. But then they started doing a bonk into their heads. And from that point on, the last couple of minutes, those clotheslines they hit each other with, good Lord. But I could do another bonk into the head, so that's kind of sick, but.
Yeah, those like legit straight headbutts were a bit like, okay, guys. That's like
you can hear the
unnecessary.
you can hear the clunk, and it's like, yeah, like Well, then right after that, I think it was right after that, they nailed each other with a couple clotheslines that were just out of this world sick. I was like, God damn. And the thing is, they're going to come back and wrestle again tonight at Cork, and I'm like, not against each other, I'm assuming like in a tag match, but still, how they walking, you know what I mean? Those guys, they're incredible. I was glad to see Shibata win, because now you got like new matchups, there's a whole lot of directions you can go. Nothing against Ishii, but we've seen him now for so long. I didn't even think of that, yeah.
Well, he won the tag titles with Goto last year.
Well, first
that's right, yeah.
First singles championship for sure. The thing that irked me the most about this match at the time was how sudden the finish came. But, after a couple of minutes of sitting there pondering, I'm like, they probably had to do that because they couldn't do any more than what they'd already done. Shibata nails the penalty kick sort of after a short little spree of moves, but just, like, I was like, man, that came out of there. I'm like, well, you know what? That's probably really all he had left, and Ishii was probably dead. So, kudos to these guys. Patrick, what'd you think?
This match was like you said, as close to murder in a legal sense as you could have. They just beat the ever-loving hell out of each other, and I loved every single second of it. And I did particularly enjoy the spot where they were just sitting down to take each other's kicks. I actually do like things like that, where it's just like, no, I'll give you the free shot, but you got to take one from me too. And the other guy just goes, okay, I'll take it as long as you take another. I don't know why, but I just love things like that. And since we were talking about it earlier, the only thing that did take away from this match for me was Stryker, an American commentator in Japan, talking about dropping bombs on people. And it's like, okay, you don't really talk about things like that, especially on a worldwide broadcast like this. And it's like, yeah, World War II was, many, many years ago, but still you don't bring up something like that. Mm-hmm. Which that kind of did take it away from me. But as far as the actual match itself, I thought it was absolutely amazing, and the first of 3 match of the night quality matches, and it's only the first one of the 3 as we'll see rolling on with the rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, what did you think of this one?
It's funny because as I watched this match, I just kind of said to myself, yay, a pissing match between Terminators. These guys, I mean, it just seemed like they could deal with anything, and they just went back and forth, and their pain tolerance, just the way these guys work. I mean, just very, very impressive. We've seen this before, like Tom said, but at the same point, you're just like, how much can these guys take? It's amazing. It really, really is. I mean, in fact, I want to hire these guys for commercials just to walk through plate glass windows. I mean, I've got to see it happen. So, I mean, and especially if they're made of cement,
you know
Paul.
what? I could totally see Ishii doing that too. Like, just walking through some glass. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, just for fun and eating it on the way out. So, but no, I mean, overall, it's just a fun, strong style match. It's something different. It's definitely a big variety in this show, especially as hard hitting as it was. So it was good.
It just confirms to you that this is what the Never title, I guess, is going to be. And that's totally fine because, like you said, Gary, it provides something completely different from anything else that's on this show. And it's like great in a way also because it's not Makabe and Ishii again. It's Shibata and Ishii, and you get to see a different matchup, and it's just two men just going out there and freaking being men, beating the crap out of each other, and I'm too prideful to tell you this hurts, so you just keep doing it, and just, oh my god, just some of the stuff, like, Ishii, like, with those chops to the throat, and all, it's like, my god, man. My lord, are you just, like, trying to kill him over there? Or it's, which one of you is not going to stand anymore? And then it's like, oh, well, we don't do standing 10 counts. Well, one of these guys may not be standing anyway. You might have to just call it.
Tom brought up the clunking of the heads and the way you could hear it. And when I saw that, the first thing that came to my mind was David Arquette screaming, "Wrestling isn't fake!" So, I don't know. But it was serious, man. Serious business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and serious business describes the next match, too, for the IWGP Intercontinental title match as AJ Styles comes to play with Shinsuke Nakamura. Just, I think I like this match better than the main event, personally. It features AJ shooting a pretend bullet at Shinsuke, who pretends to eat it and then swallow it in the most amazing way possible. That's only the tip of the iceberg of how great this match was. Tom, what'd you think?
This match was awesome. Kind of a shame we know now, but, I was hoping the whole year would be Styles, Nakamura battling, all the way through G1 and, maybe on the next year again. But anyway, the match was great. The Styles can work any style with anybody. One thing, when Nakamura does those knees, you wonder how he doesn't kill anybody.
Yep.
Because they look so real, they're so crisp. He did that one to Styles on the back of the head. It literally made me get up, storm out of the room, walk into the kitchen. I was like, Jesus Christ, how does anybody take that stuff, that back to the TV again? But we finally saw somebody kick out of a Styles clash, except it was only a half a Styles clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I thought that's why, okay, we're getting a whole year's worth of Styles Nakamura now, because, he kind of kicked out of the Styles clash, but he didn't, and just kept going. I kind of expected Nakamura to win, because I thought it was going to be the first of a series, and then especially when they did the fist bump at the end was absolutely awesome. Just two warriors, they fought. Let's do it again, This match was great.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I thought Styles would win here just to move Shinsuke onto something else that's not the Intercontinental title, but I remember thinking at the end of the match, they very clearly want Shinsuke here for a reason. And maybe that's because they don't think the title can succeed without him, or maybe it's just because they want to keep him featured as heavily as they did. But Patrick, what did you think?
This match is absolutely incredible, bar none. And this was like 2 for 2 matches, 2 5-star matches, 2 match of the year candidates easily. And as Tom mentioned, I absolutely that was probably my favorite moment, was the fist bump at the end. And I don't think it was so much Bullet Club and Chaos making amends in the end. I think that was just two warriors who had an absolute classic showing respect to each other for what they had just put on over the previous, I think it was almost 25 minutes. And like Tom also mentioned, my God, those knees, those bomayes from Nakamura are absolutely amazing and look like they are going to take his opponent's head off.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I thought that this was just an absolutely amazing match. Everything that it had been hyped up to be, and then some.
I completely agree.
Me too. I'm right there with you, and I just think that this is one that you at first you're thinking, man, this is going to take the show. You think, oh, this, the match coming up is going to be really good, but this one may steal it, just because I was very entertained. I think these guys worked their butts off. They really, really did. But you can't expect anything less. I mean, both these guys are such just extreme talents. And they've got a lot to offer, and they proved it once again. I mean, like it needed to be proven, but they just continue to do it. So I was thrilled by it. Really, what else is there to say in my point? Not really, but it's just good. A good match.
This was just wonderful. I mean, it's two guys going out there just trying to prove, who's better. It's a first-time dream match, and it lives up to it. You got AJ doing I love the thing where he fakes the back injury, so then the rest of the match is Nakamura like, oh, you want to fake a back injury on me then, huh? Okay, well, I'll make sure your back hurts the rest of the damn time. So, and then it's the rest of the match, it's just working on the back and all that, and then he goes and grabs Nakamura's leg so he can't do the Bomaye, and then it's awesome, and they just keep kicking out of stuff, and how he does that one-arm Styles Clash and doesn't hurt Nakamura was amazing to me. That's pretty awesome. And then, I always pop for the landslide because he doesn't pull it out in every match, so, but it's just awesome. Man, I think they delivered everything we wanted, and happy that we got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, everything we wanted and more also came in the main event for the evening for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Okada of the Kazuchika variety defends against Hiroshi Tanahashi. This was an incredible match. I think it told a really incredible story, seeing as we had a whole year worth of build-up going into this. And there's a lot of great points to be had here, so I don't want to take up too much time. But I love how they let Okada close out the show with the same sort of promo that Tanahashi did last year, where it really felt like Okada was the new ace, and that I just think that was a really smart move. But Tom, what'd you think?
When everybody says, why you're a wrestling fan, what is it about wrestling you're like, this is it, period. This match, like you said, a 1 year build, and you knew what the finish was going to be going in. You know Okada was winning to close the story. You know it would be great, but you didn't know how great, or you didn't know if it would live up, or whatever. And then as the show was going on, you had a couple surprise finishes and stuff. So in the back of your mind, you had to be like, did Okada, would he lose, or did Tanahashi really win? And then as that match was going on, there was a point where you actually thought Tanahashi was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those near falls, the story, like you said, it was being told. And then they both did each other's finishes and both kicked out. That was awesome. The one early in the match, Tanahashi was on the apron, and Okada did that drop kick and did the flip off. I don't know how he didn't break his hip on that one. He landed hard. That match I love Tanahashi. Everybody knows that. I'll worship the ground the guy walks on, but it was awesome. And the post-match, like you said, with Okada, I've never seen that much fire out of him before.
Mm-hmm.
it was like he's the man now, and he, finally stepped into that role.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly knows it, and he owned it, and, I mean, both guys totally stole the moment away from everything else that was going on with the show. Patrick, what'd you think?
I welcome our new Rainmaker Overlord.
Mm.
Like you said, you kind of knew that Okada was going to end up winning in the end, just to become essentially the new ace of New Japan. But the 36-minute story that they told was absolutely incredible. The pacing of the start, I thought they were actually going to go like close to an hour, and then they just kicked it into high gear, started working outside, and then, like I said, got to where they were using each other's finishers and, twice in a lifetime kind of thing. But this was absolutely done right, and to me it was done spectacularly, and they delivered unlike anything I have ever seen before. And while this is essentially the only show of the year that I absolutely have to see from New Japan, I won't call myself a huge New Japan fan, but my God, this match was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was thrilling, and this just Tom said it already, and I don't have to repeat it. But I mean, this is one of those matches you can point to and say, if you don't know anything about it, or you just want to know why people are into wrestling, this is why, because of this, and it just what a showing. I mean, I was just entertained all the way through. I think these guys, once again, just like the previous match, these guys worked their butts off too, and they were just, just amazing. Let's just say it that way. Just words can't go into how far I want to go. But overall, I just thrilled that Okada, the Rainmaker, was able to be the victor here. I think that means a lot. I'm so excited for him personally. For me personally, the one thing that gave me the most happiness was the fact that Okada won, and I didn't have to watch Tanahashi doing the whole guitar thing for 45 minutes this year. That was the most exciting part. Because last year it went on and on. I thought Hulk Hogan was bad. My God, Tanahashi.
This has to be one of the greatest matches I've ever watched in my life. This is tremendous on all levels. I mean, you have a wonderful story here that you're telling. You have you have so many callbacks to some of their other matches. Them using each other's finishers because they were in total desperation mode. I mean, even to the last second when Tanahashi slaps Okada, and you're thinking, oh my God, is he really going to freaking break it again? And Okada makes sure that moment where he still has his hand, and he's not letting go, because he knows that if he lets go, it opens up another possible opportunity for him to do something. And it's just like, wow, you think that they've had 7 matches, and you think they can't top themselves, and they do it again. And it's like, wow, how do they keep doing this? And it's just, man, oh my God, this was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, a magical ending to a magical show that we somehow have to rate objectively. 1 out of 10. Tom, what are you giving this show?
10.
Boom.
Wow. Already said that.
It's a 10 out of 10 all the way.
My God, there is nothing bad on the show. Elgin and Lethal's probably the worst thing on it, for me, because also I did not like that finish. The way that they did the match, and then you do that finish, it's like, come on, really? Like, that's just stupid. Yeah, and also there was that first part of the Tanahashi Okada match that was weird, because Tanahashi's doing stuff to the leg and Okada's just not selling it. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Then you sell it the rest of the time. But other than that, I mean, oh my God, It's just like, I don't know where you draw that line of how do you say, what do you quantify as something as a 10? I've never even thought about when you say something's a 10, what is the criteria for that?
Yeah, it's difficult. It really is, and I think of the same thing too. I mean, that's why I'm having a battle within myself for this just alone, just because I'm thinking, well, mine may be too low, but it may be too high. I at first, the first thing that popped in my head was an 8. And then I thought, well, why not a 9? A 9 works. My system is different than everyone else's. A 10 has its own things, and it's got to be perfect, and this was not perfect for me. It was good, great at points, but it just was not. Man, you know what? I enjoyed most of this. In fact, the kickoff to me was a blast. I love the throwbacks. That's going to earn an extra point. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
I think I'm gonna settle on a 9.5. I just, maybe if I watch it again or something, I can officially say a 10. Just, I think also if I watch on Japanese commentary, I might say a 10. Just this commentary for the English, just at some points I was like, oh my god, can I just put it on mute? That might be better. But what do you think, Paul?
I'll go Patrick first. Patrick, what do you got?
I think there were, like you said, great points, but a lot of things that could have been better. So, especially that English commentary, I thought last year's far exceeded. So I'm actually going to go with an 8.5. A good show, great at times, but some questionable things.
I mean, the highest I've given on this show is a 9.5 for our NXT's Our Evolution. That's the closest show I've seen to perfection as I've ever gotten. I loved this show. The main events were amazing. There's a couple booking decisions I question. There's some matches on here that, I mean, while not bad, were certainly not terrific. And I'm thinking 9 for this personally as well. It is a great show, but I don't know if it's the best I've seen. So that's where I'm at.
Right.
All right. Well, that concludes Wrestle Kingdom 10. And man, a lot of fun talking about Wrestle Kingdom just in general. But this one was pretty darn good. A lot of us gave it high ratings. I'm kind of curious what everyone else has to give. So if you have a rating that you want to share with us, please go to our Facebook group, Wrestling to the Max, and rate it. Give us your ideas.
I'll
you
make
can email
a poll
us.
when we get done here, and whoever. I know we have a sizable New Japan contingent in there. Even some that are not total New Japan fans like Patrick, that because this is the big show, they watched it just to get a feeling for everybody's rating.
Yeah.
So.
Next Thursday we'll reveal kind of what everybody thought, and that'll be really fun to do. So make sure you do get in that poll. Make sure you do vote and pick what you think this show definitely deserves as ratings. So good stuff. Well, you guys, we have a couple more things we're going to do before we get out of here. Sean's already kind of talked about it a little bit here, but we're going to bring it up and kind of open it to discussion for the entire group, because it is very important, and we've actually discussed this in the past out of rumors. And trust me, on our regular show,
we have a title of a show that says Nakamura to WWE.
Yeah, and Sean is not lying. We do. But we want to bring up, this list of guys and kind of talk about, what we really think, is going to happen, how we feel about it overall. Just to remind everybody, if you did not get a chance to hear everybody listed in this move, then I'm going to do it for you real quick here. But allegedly, and most likely happening here, I don't know if they got it signed on the dotted line or what's happening, but apparently New Japan's losing some people like Nakamura. They're losing AJ, Karl Anderson, Tama Tonga, Doc Gallows, and Rocky Romero.
Tama Tonga, I think, is actually staying. But
is he staying? Okay. Well, the rest of those guys besides Tama Tonga, we'll just talk about. How about that? But they're going to be going over to WWE, and I've got to ask the question to you guys. How do you feel about this? Tom, overall, what's your thought process when you got a chance to hear this news?
I'm shocked with the Nakamura one more than anything because I just don't see him being a Vince McMahon type guy. You know, I don't see Vince seeing something in him to really use him properly. But Anderson, that guy's getting up there. He's got to make some money, so you know, kudos to him. Gallows, guaranteed gone within a year or two. I could care less. But Styles, he's always said if he got the right money, he would go. So obviously, maybe with all the injuries and stuff, they got to have somebody who knows how to go main event style and plug them right in there, and I hope that's what they do. But I don't think you have to worry about them being misused too much because everybody they brought in lately, at least for the NXT, they've actually used and they've let shine. So, you know, if they keep, you know, if they buried AJ or they buried Joe or they buried Nakamura a year from now when they try to get somebody, that person might hesitate and say, nah, you know, bury me, you know. So actually, those guys are in a good spot. They got to be used, and you know, WWE's desperate for talent, so.
Yeah, Patrick, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because, you know, Tom feels like they, you know, could be used pretty okay, but, you know, there's always concerns. How do you feel?
Well, let's have one thing straight out first. The WWE part is brand new, and I think that's just kind of gone with it. The only thing that's semi-confirmed is that the four of them gave them notice. That's it. The WWE thing is kind of a brand new thing.
Sure. And that's why I threw in allegedly earlier, because I was kind of like, you know, apparently, you know, this could be the case. So.
Well, the thing was apparently a lot when the rumors first started coming about Nakamura when we talked about it previously, it was that Vince really likes Nakamura, thinks that he has a lot of charisma and all that stuff, that Nakamura could be a straight to WWE guy, that he may not spend a lot of time in NXT. Whereas AJ and the rest of those guys are probably going to be, you know, reformed Bullet Club with Balor or something like that, and they'll be in NXT for a little while. And, you know, I mean, you know, the thing is with AJ, if he's saying that he wants to spend a lot of time with his family and stuff, if you're doing WWE roster, main roster, you're not going to be with them very much because you're touring all the time. Unless he's given a total part-time deal, whereas at least with NXT, you're stationed in Florida, and when they're not touring, which I know they're going to be touring more this year, you get to be home, and you just have to go to the Performance Center and do stuff, you know, so. I mean.
That's true. Paul, I mean, how do you feel about this whole thing?
I'm going to guess this is a WWE thing, because I don't see Shinsuke leaving for anything less. I don't see AJ leaving for anything less, and I don't see Karl or Doc leaving for anything else. Because AJ already has a pretty sweet gig going in between New Japan and Ring of Honor. The only step up is WWE. Shinsuke has been at the top of New Japan's card for the last 5-10 years. The step, it only goes downward from there outside of WWE as far as size of companies goes. Because if he's going All Japan, I mean, they're slowly trying to work their way back up from the hole they dug themselves into, and nobody else is even close to touching where New Japan's at in Japan. Mm-hmm. This is nothing short of a raid, in my opinion. WWE is coming for New Japan, sees them as something, and wants to sort of take the legs out from under them before they can really get going on an international scale. And hitting three extremely talented people in Doc Gallows. This is a huge deal. Shinsuke and AJ are two of New Japan's top guys. Shinsuke especially, and this is a huge deal. And whether they get used correctly or not, I think is secondary. This is, I think, WWE acknowledging New Japan might have something to bring to an international audience.
Paul, you bring up a great point there, and I can totally see that because that's a very Vince McMahon move. And not only that, I mean, just the fact that, these guys are so talented, they can actually offer his roster something, but at the same point, he is not forced to use them in any certain way, as long as he's paying them the right money, and I'm sure he is.
You know what else? Good rating on probably because someone's like, why they don't want anybody going to TNA because TNA is on cable as in ROH, so. And New Japan now has, their streaming service, New Japan World, so that's kind of like competition to WWE Network in their mind that they want to keep down before it gets going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing too, because remember apparently Vince threw a big old fit when the NWA they couldn't get the rest of that NWA stuff, and the NWA started their whatever that thing is. Which I haven't even heard any more about. And, Vince got mad that they started that, So, but I mean, with New Japan, it's just, I think that whenever, I thought that Matt Golden in our group kind of hit a little bit on it. Whenever they had Liger there for NXT, I felt like we were going to start seeing something similar to this happen, where we were going to get somebody from New Japan that was major. I'm glad it's not Okada. I was worried it was going to be Okada when he was showing up for SummerSlam and everything. That at least it's somebody, let's be real. Nakamura's what? He's going to be like 37. He's not a young pup either. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he had years to give New Japan still. It's a huge blow to them, but it's WWE's getting, and same thing with AJ. AJ's not young either. The WWE's getting some older guys, just to fill in and have big names so that when they go tour for NXT, or just to bring in a different kind of audience, or perhaps make a change. They brought in Mauro Ranallo for SmackDown. It might be a change of philosophy going on around for them that we don't know yet. But, I mean, I'm more worried about, I think New Japan's going to be okay in the long run, because what this allows them to do is allows them to, now they have to push guys. Now they have to push Shibata. Now they got to, Ibushi, when he comes back, they're going to have to do something with him. They're going to have to do something with Naito. They can't just keep relying on the big four forever. Because now it's only a big two, and Tanahashi's only going to keep getting older, and I feel bad for Tanahashi because now he's probably going to feel like he really has to force himself more. And I hope that's not the case for him, but I think New Japan's going to be okay. I'm more worried about what's going to happen to 3 of the 4 guys when they're in WWE. How are they going to be used, and are they going to be the guys that we know them to be?
Mm-hmm.
You know what else? You figure, at least with Styles and Nakamura, they probably have good contracts, which means Vince always wants to justify big contracts, so they have to be used theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Nakamura and AJ were probably already getting big money for New Japan anyway, so they have to be getting major money in order for them to go.
I would too. I mean, they've got to be making some pretty good coin. Patrick, I mean, do you have any other concerns or anything that you wanted to kind of voice?
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm excited to see where it goes. Mostly.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like all of us kind of gave our piece about this, and we'll find out more as time goes on. This is still a alleged story. Nothing is on the dotted line. Nothing is official. But it's very interesting.
To bring
and
a little bit more to it, AJ did follow Triple H on Twitter, just similar to the way that Samoa Joe did, and then which apparently is standard for you to exchange information, and then whatever. So
there you go. Wow.
But Tom, I know you watched that festival show that was before Wrestle Kingdom that had 2 of the new Young Lions on it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're going to be miles away because we're still talking about all the Young Lions that are there. They haven't even gone on their excursions yet, and they've got the one that's in CMLL now that I think he's going to come back pretty soon. What did you see in these young guys and that festival? What'd you think about that show?
I forget the guy's name right off the top of my head, but the first one that wrestled Komatsu, I think he's only like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And the match was only like 4 or 5 minutes long to debut. He threw a drop kick in that match that was worthy of Okada. Honestly, it was like, wow. It was only all kinds of move in a match, but it was impressive. And then the second guy, the one that wrestled Sho Tanaka, they said has like the most potential, but it was a debut. No, I don't know.
One of
really
them's
much
like
in
a
him.
pretty big guy, right? Like not the typical young lion look.
No. You're thinking of someone. That guy didn't wrestle. That huge guy. He didn't wrestle yet.
Yeah, okay. So they actually had 3 then, but only 2 of them wrestled?
Right. Actually, no, I think they had 4, but 2 that just got introduced in the ring. One of them was the big guy that took his shirt off. And when Vince sees him, might want to sign him also, but I think that, trust me, that guy was jacked with the meat and pharmacist, but supposedly that guy's a national champion wrestler in Japan, so he might get like a bigger push right out of the gate because of that. But,
Do you like the idea that apparently is being floated around of Komatsu joining the Ingobernables?
Is that thing even going in Mexico now? I mean, with Somber
I mean, just being with the Naito, Bushi, and Evil. Like, if they to kind of bring them in to kind of like name him, and then he goes on this excursion, and then he comes back and he's
yeah, it's not a bad idea, but probably the guy that they're bringing back now next month. I can't remember his name in Mexico, Hiromo or something. I assume he'll be probably in the spot that Somber going to get would have had.
Yeah.
So I think he's coming back and Dorado's leaving, which I kind of hate to see.
I hate to see it too, but they just never, outside of that one shot, like they just never really did much with him.
Yeah, 2 singles matches outside of the junior tournament, that was it.
Sad. Because he brought it almost every time he was in one of those tags or, anything else. It's just crazy.
Mm.
Like, I remember me and Paul always said, man, they got to do that Kushida and Dorada match. They just never did it.
There's still Fantasticamania.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, I was sitting there that whole time they were doing that Dormon thing. I was like, where's Barbaro Cavernario so he can do the caveman thing while they're... I mean, he would have been a way better caveman than the dude that was doing it all dressed up. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, so who do you think is going to be the guys that they're going to key on now? With you're removing 2 of your big stars. Who do you think is going to be the guys to step up?
That's a good quote. I think that Naito match, I'm willing to bet they changed that finish after all the news broke today. Because they're probably going to put Goto back in the top spot now. But if I was New Japan, I'd just take the guys back from Noah. Bring back Harry Smith, Lance Archer, Suzuki. And I'll just take the whole promotion and bring it over and net it into one. Because you can't really put a young lion up there yet, you know what I mean? So it's got to have main event guys. Just lost two of the big ones.
What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I think you go to your guys that are right there on the cusp, or you've purposely kept on the cusp in Goto and Naito. And however you're going to have Shinsuke drop the Intercontinental title is going to be, you want to hopefully make into a star-making performance for somebody. Whether you think it's a Naito or a Goto or somebody else. And then, you have to, I don't know where else. I'm fully down for bringing the Suzuki gun back to bring some more life around, if that is what they so choose to do.
Oh yeah,
or
because
at
they
least,
got to replace a big tag team too, so KES can help do that.
even just Suzuki in general by himself, I'd be okay with that too. That dude is a beast. Somebody who can work well wherever you want to put him.
Yeah, don't forget, the guy that's most over right now underneath is probably Honda, so he put move him up the show.
Yeah.
I just, man, would they really do that? Would they move him up to like an IC title level though?
They probably got to get radical now, and try something different.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting because I would have said beforehand that like I think never would have been the highest peak he'll ever go, but you never know because Ibushi's going to be out still for a while, and he's obviously the guy that they'll probably. I mean that's the same thing like we obviously saw him take the step with Shibata now where they finally forgiven the past. I wonder if this forces their hand with Ibushi where, like, oh, well, regardless of whether he's doing stuff with DDT still or not, we're going to have to, go ahead and push him because we don't have anybody. You think they pull the trigger on it, or?
They have to pull the trigger on something. Either that or they have to go outside the promotion and just buy a contract somewhere.
Yeah, they could raid in turn as well. I don't know who exactly they could grab that isn't already signed up with somebody for a while, but there are guys out there I'm sure who would be willing to at least.
Like a bunch of the All Japan guys are not working with contracts, so they could go grab some of them, or I don't know if you can try to get somebody that's big in Dragon Gate or something, but they got to look around. I guess.
Most of the guys that were really good at All Japan have now made their way back to Noah. So you all Noah. That's what I'm saying. You can just move guys over theoretically.
Yeah, because you got Go over there, Go Shiozaki, and some of the other guys that are there. They could really help boost it a little bit. And I think that's the thing too. I think this also helps dissolve. I hope that this helps dissolve the Bullet Club because it was starting to get a little long in the tooth at this point. You could still have it around with the Young Bucks but it's all Bullet Club B team now. Do you really have somebody come in and take it over again? Or do you just dissolve it?
Kenny wants to move up to heavyweight. You put Omega in the lead role and let him keep rolling with the punches for a while if you want to do that.
See that happening, Tom?
You could try it with Omega. Worst that could happen is it doesn't work, but I just don't know him in the heavyweight picture. I don't know. But again, the guy's talented, so it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, if Ibushi can do it, I think Omega can more than handle it.
If you really have a 220-pound limit, and Tanahashi is 227, if you're really talking about your heavyweight class is 1 pound after that,
It's not really about the weight, though. It's really more or less the style.
I think he would obviously have to cut down some of the stick. But, I'm sure if you tell them, hey, you're going to be a heavyweight, you're going to have to cut out the goofy stuff. I'm sure he'd stop that in a heartbeat. So,
Oh, yeah, to be a top guy? Yeah.
I mean, Gary, do you have a thought at all? Or
I mean, you guys make some great points. I mean, with the Bullet Club alone, I mean, I stated earlier, I think Omega's a great heel. I think he could definitely do something like lead the Bullet Club. It is left to be seen, though. It really is, and you just never know how that's going to go over with the crowd. Are they going to have the same enthusiasm for the Bullet Club with the missing members? Sometimes, a big change-up doesn't always mean good things. Sometimes it means, people lose interest. So it just depends on how the crowd takes it, really, honestly. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That pretty much wraps up our New Japan talk and, of course, this pay-per-view review. That's right. We've had a good time, a lot of fun talking about Wrestle Kingdom 10, and, of course, some of the big news coming out of New Japan. We thank you all for listening. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. Make sure you go and check out, like I talked before, the Facebook page, and of course, come and send all your stuff you want to maybe mention, or maybe things you liked about tonight's show, or even kind of give us your opinions. We want to hear from you and what you thought about this Wrestle Kingdom 10 for sure. So go hit us up. We got plenty of ways to come find us. We even have an email, Sean, that people can email us, right? And a phone number they can leave a voicemail at, right?
Yep, wrestlingthemax@gmail.com. 972-591-8620 if you live in the United States. You can go ahead and just call the number. It'll say leave a voicemail. You can leave a voicemail and we can play it on the show, or we can just answer it on the show. So I mean, it's all there for you if you want to use that.
Definitely. So, and also want to let everybody know, this is a, special show, but we do have a regular scheduled program, Wrestling to the Max, we do every Thursday night. That'll be, of course, once again this Thursday, and you can also hear us, kind of talk more a little bit, a few things about Wrestle Kingdom, but we left most of that talk on this show. So, but come check out that show. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll also be talking about some other wrestling promotions like Ring of Honor, TNA, just a ton of other stuff.
TNA on Pop TV, so I'm sure that'll be interesting. And we'll have our book review, which does pertain to New Japan. We'll be reviewing that Lions Pride book by Chris Charlton. Paul and I have read it, and Gary's getting through it. And before we get out of here, because I sent it out to the Facebook group, but I want to give anybody an opportunity to listen to the podcast that's not part of that. We did make a survey for the podcast, kind of asking what you like about the podcast, what you don't, if we add anything, if we take away anything, So what I need you to do, and I'll put the link in the description. Probably easier for you guys to find that way. Now for some reason I can't find the actual link to it. But here it is. Hold on. Okay, so go to surveymonkey.com/r/2. This is all capital letters. r/2dkx36y, and when you type it in there, it'll say, welcome to the Rest of the Max podcast survey. Then you just take the 10 questions, and, I can see your responses and stuff. So, hopefully some of you guys that aren't part of the group or whatever, you listen through other means, you can take it and let us know.
Awesome. So go check out that for sure. Just let everybody else know that we do a few other shows. We do Football to Football, which will be this Thursday as well. Just if you're a big sports fan, you like the NFL, come check that show out as well. We'll be doing, of course, the Week 17 review and, of course, previewing all the wild card games this next week. So a lot of cool stuff on that show. Sean, anything else you want to mention before we anything else?
No, I have no idea what happened, but this last week of the video game podcast was our most listened to podcast ever. had no idea if that has to do with the Star Wars talk that we did on it or whatever it is. Thank you everybody that listened, and I'll figure out a day this week that we're doing it. Probably either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay.
But yeah, and of
For
course,
sure.
always listen to. They just did their first episode. Go listen to Patrick and Harry Broadhurst do ECW's December to Dismember. They talk all about that show. Why it's so bad. You gotta listen to it. It's actually
Or you could tune in this Sunday when we'll cover site number 1.
that too.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss either episode. Go check out the one that's on demand, and of course, hey, you can go listen to the one coming up. So now that's gonna be awesome. That is Sunday, right?
Yes, Sunday.
Correct. Sunday.
It'll be after the last playoff game. Is when they
Okay.
go live.
So everybody, go find that, and Patrick will definitely give you an earful of great stuff. So you want to go check out that show. And of course, we're just going to do our thank yous to everybody for being on this show. Definitely, Patrick, and we want to thank you for taking your time out and being on with us tonight.
Oh, I had a blast doing it as always.
Especially with all your your problems with your voice. Good going through that, man.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah,
No,
you're good,
it's-
man.
I mean, hey, you didn't have to be on. You made the sacrifice.
He did. He did, for sure. And definitely I want to thank Tom, our New Japan guy. I mean, it is so, it's such a treat to have you on once again. Man, we really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And of course, for Sean and Paul and myself, we definitely once again thank everybody for being on. And of course, go check out all the shows we mentioned earlier. And there's only one thing we got left to do. I just want to, kind of remind everybody: if you're not living life to the max,
Not living life at all.
You know it.
Please.
later.